So we were looking to make contact with higher self today. He had a couple of questions that he wanted us to ask.
Yes.
Would we be permitted to do this?
Yes.
Would you kindly take us where we need to go?
Yes.
What do you see?
I see a green planet.
Yes, very good. Describe this planet.
It's very foresty. Lots of green.
Are you on the planet or are you observing it from kind of externally?
On it.
Very good.
Yes.
What else can you see?
These very, very large trees.
Do they look like the trees on Earth?
Similar, but slightly different.
Yes. And are you on Earth?
No,
Do you know where you are?
you can zoom out.
Yes, very good. Tell me what you see now.
Pleiades.
Yes, very good. And how do you know that?
Just came to mind.
Okay.
It's one of the planets in that area.
Yes, and why is it important to see this planet in particular?
They say they want him to remember.
Yes. What would they like him to remember?
That this was his immediate experience before this one.
Yes, okay. Is there anything specific he needs to know about this existence?
It's like they say they want to show us around.
Very good.
Yes.
Now what's happening next? Let's see what this place looks like.
It's almost like it's a traveling station.
What does that mean?
It's like I'm in a traveling station on this planet. Like it came from, you can get there from other places.
Yes.
To this place.
How does one access this place?
It's like types of ships.
Yes. Can you see any of them?
Yes.
Can you describe them?
It's like a disc shape. So almost it's a disc in its height, if I can say that. And then it's oval from front to back.
Okay.
Yes. And then at the end, it's almost like there's, if you imagined a scorpion, there's this thing at the back that comes up like this.
Yes.
Almost like if you think about a handle.
Okay. What's the importance of that kind of projection?
They say it's for the view.
Okay.
Yes, you can go in, when you're in it, go to that part and then have this view.
Yes.
When it's traveling.
Is there anything that needs to see in this place? On this planet or in these ships or anything?
Yes. They are focusing on what you do there. And it's almost like it's a type of planet where you go to have a really, really relaxed time.
Like a vacation.
Yes. And when you go there, there's so many different kinds of things you can do and experience in a relaxed way, if you can imagine that. So what I see, there's like it's almost like this is why we were in the forest, almost like a spring kind of, like a place where people just relax there. They go into the water, sit on the rocks, and everything is also edible, they say.
Like everything around.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's almost like when we are here on Earth, if you were to go outside, you would expect that there's like dirt involved because you are walking on ground.
Yes.
Or on rocks or, touching the trees. But it's very different there. When you touch the ground, it's like it's clean.
Is there ground or what is on the surface?
So there is ground, there's these plants, like a watery kind of substance, but it's very, very different to what it is like on Earth. It's like it's in a different kind of dimension. So you can walk on the ground, you have a body when you are there, in whichever form you choose to kind of experience a body. But as you touch the ground, it's almost like you touch it, but when you drop the ground, the hand will not be dirty.
Yes. And what did look like in this existence?
Green feline.
Yes. Can you give him a visual? I don't know. He said he can't visualize too well, but would we be able to give him a description of this? Would he be able to understand it?
Yes. So it's a very, very light green. More towards the lion kind of felines.
Yes.
Very, very masculine face and yellow eyes.
And why did he choose that form in that place?
It is a form of power, kind of. It represents the power
Okay. Why would he
that
choose
we have within us. So that form he has chosen represents, or is like symbolic to that.
He seems to have an affinity for cats in this life. Is that why?
Yes.
Okay. You're telling more about that.
Yes. So having that experience in the Pleiades as this being, it gives you a lot of space to play. And when I said there are many different kinds of experiences on this planet, like the one I was shown was like a type of spring within a forest setting. And everything is like instantly manifested as well.
Yes.
If you wanted to experience eating or drinking, if you wanted to experience flying, you can do that. Running around, having a big space for that. Feeling how it feels to, kind of walk on the ground or touch a cloud, you can do that too.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a playful experience, but also representing the power within. And many, many, many extraterrestrials go there for that experience. So in this experience, he is this feline being. So they say the origin of that is Lyra. So Lyran starseed. But he has had lots of time in the Pleiades. And also in that experience of the Pleiades, he could also shapeshift into different forms.
So is this his first incarnation on Earth? Is he a starseed?
Yes, he is a starseed,
Okay.
but this is his first incarnation on Earth since a very, very long time.
Okay.
So he has been on Earth, but he has kind of completed the lessons and has decided to come back to allow him to grow within that in the soul aspect.
Yes.
Accelerate his growth on that side.
Why did he have to come back? What does he need to learn now?
Because you can learn anything on Earth. Everything is available here. With regards to emotions, there's the biggest set of emotions is available on Earth. It's not like any other planet.
Yes. But what did he specifically need to learn? Why did he specifically come back here?
The ultimate lesson we all have to learn.
Can you just confirm for him?
Yes. Is remembering who you are.
And who is he?
Source.
Yes.
Yes. So there are many, many different experiences. We always enjoy referring to those experiences, such as the Lyran experience and the Pleiades, because those types of experiences bring back your essence of what you are, the joyful, playful creator beings that we are. But everyone is from Source.
Because that was one of his questions. What is his soul origin?
Yes, so the most recent one is the Lyran origin. Yes,
And
although he has had many other experiences.
But why is it important to see that? Is it because he had this question?
Yes, So what the higher self wants to show to him is that playfulness is very important. This is where the joy is, and this is where you come back to who you are.
Yes. In which way should he be playing?
They are showing music. Yes, in this place in the Pleiades as well. It's almost like there's a song in the air the whole time.
Yes. What kind of music is it?
It's very difficult to describe it.
Okay.
It's almost like being inside of the vibration of the music. Yes.
Does it have something to do with the cat purring frequencies as well?
Yes, that's part of it. Yes.
The love frequencies like we had in our previous video, right?
Yes, exactly.
But should he be listening to music or making music in this life, or what is the connection?
They say light language.
Yes.
Yes.
Would he have a good affinity to this?
Yes. Listening to it at first. They say once we start listening to the kind of light languages, it activates it within us.
Yes.
And we remember it. It's a vibrational language. Yes.
Well, then would he be able to speak it then?
Anyone can speak it. It's if you want to speak it, you can.
But what does this have to do with him? Does he have
It will be good to start listening to some light language.
And
Yes.
for what purpose?
To help him raise his vibrations.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else he can do
Coming
to...
back to himself.
Sorry, what else can he do to raise his vibrations, specifically for him?
Cats, definitely. Yes. Be around them.
Yes.
This is why they're in his life as well. Naturally drawn to them.
Yes.
It being his origins. Yes, focus on more time for himself.
Yes.
So they're showing the image of the nature again, that spring in the forest.
Yes.
So they want him to go back to nature. That's where the joy would be as well.
Like to go for walks, or what should he do specifically?
Yes, yes, time for himself.
He says he already does meditate, so he takes some time before he goes to sleep.
It's very good to meditate before you go to sleep, but the best meditation is within the moments where you have your joy.
Yes.
We experience the joy when you listen to the cat purring, when you take a walk in nature, when you have a good laugh with a family member.
Why is this the best meditation?
Because that is what makes this experience special. Those moments. Those moments represent the symbology of what you are. And focusing on those moments brings you back to who you are as well.
Okay. Anything else about the Lyran kind of Pleiadian existence?
It seems like he was quite excited to take on this experience. Yes.
Why is that?
Because of the shift.
Yes, but he says he's a little bit frustrated. He wants to just move to 5D. Any advice for him?
Yes. Just moving there is going to just bring you back to the place where you were before the experience.
Yes.
And then the experience is supposed to allow you to work through your lessons.
Yes.
To remember yourself, and that is the most profound experience, because this is why we talked about those moments, because it is in those moments that brings you back to the 5D and higher, where you kind of show off you've been on Earth and you experienced the ups and the downs of it and integrated them all together.
Yes, you made it through this.
Yes,
Ghetto of
it's
planet.
kind of like equivalent to experience on Earth. It would be like receiving some sort of trophy.
Yes, or like a badge of honor.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else about that existence? What was he doing for the majority of his day? Was he just kind of playing around, or?
Yes. So he went to the Pleiades quite often to go and play, or just have a relaxed time. But within the Lyran experience, he acted as a sort of a future guide for himself in this experience. So he prepared all of those synchronicities and like the little pushes and shoves he would need in this experience. Yes.
Is that Lyran still one of his guides today?
Yes, yes. Because our higher self projects our kind of like most favorite experiences that we've had as our guides when we come to this planet.
Yes, okay. And anything else about that experience? Anything important for him to know today?
They say we need to focus on the questions.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so his first one was, what is his soul origin, which you've already kind of answered, but he was kind of interested about why is he here? What did he come here to do? What is his mission?
He is also a grid builder.
Can you explain to him what that is?
Yes. So this is why you mentioned that he was a bus driver. So in that specific area where he is, as he moves around, he projects this light outward without even being consciously aware of it, assisting with these grids in that area.
Yes.
And attaching the corners together and the crisscrossing of it. So this is why he needs to move around in that area to kind of send that light out every day.
But when you say grid work, is this something that the light workers are building, or what he I don't think he might not understand what that is.
Yes. So all the light workers are building the grids. The grids are for connecting everyone together. So as we walk through life, we send out this kind of unseen light that we are.
Yes.
And this unseen light is kind of like a symbolic projection. That is what the grid is, of these lights coming together, crisscrossing over each other, and kind of being represented as one entity or one being or one light. So the grid is like a protection shield around the earth, but also around the person. And this connects and takes you to the kind of path that you chose to take when you came into this experience. So think about if we can place it into an analogy. If you were to stand completely within the dark and you had a torch in your hand or a flashlight,
Yes.
and you turned on the flashlight, the light shines in front of you outwards. So that light is kind of like a leading path for you to follow.
Yes.
And you can turn and take it around to any angle, or shine it into any direction with your choice. But this path of light that is shone in front of you is similar to what this grid is. It is kind of like that light path that you took and that takes you forward to the kind of predetermined choices that you wanted to come here to learn. It's your guidance system. Does that make sense to you?
Well, it kind of does. It kind of seems like a life future projection, or like a life path projection. But what I'm interested in is you're saying it's a grid. So it's what is it connecting? Is it just connecting all the light workers together, like a kind of tapestry of light, or how does that work?
So its first purpose is to connect the light workers together.
Okay.
But its second purpose is for the light workers then to connect everyone else to it as well. So everyone is connected to it. But the light workers is the ones who is actually creating it to a sense.
Yeah.
They came in specifically to create this. So when you talk about the grid, you can imagine a physical shape around the earth that looks like a net. but it's not really a physical thing.
Yes.
It's the connection between you and me, the connection between me and him, him and his cat,
Yes.
him and his wife, him and his friends. And it is those connections that never goes lost.
Yes.
So the flashlight, what we were talking about when we referred to that analogy, is before you incarnated, you came in with the choices of learning specific lessons as well. So the flashlight is that beam of light in front of you, guiding you towards the lessons you need to learn.
Yes. But it's also connecting you with everyone else's flashlights.
Yes,
to
exactly.
form that kind of snowflake analogy, right?
Yes, because if you stood next to him, shining a flashlight, your lights can cross.
Yes.
Yes.
But also your light doesn't go on forever, so then it connects with the other light and the other flash bulb to make like a tapestry of light. But you're saying he's got an earth grid. Is that different to the one that me and Linaldo works on at night?
No, we're talking about the grid.
Okay.
Yes.
Same thing.
Around the planet, yes.
Okay. And you're saying he needs to move around on this bus so that he can, how does that work?
Yeah, it's kind of to strengthen that, the grid in that area.
Yes, he says he sees a lot of homeless people and a lot of kind of unfortunate things on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a purpose for him then moving around and seeing these things?
So we would want him to focus on seeing, when he sees these people, to see them as these lights as well.
Yes. Okay.
They are just projections around him to make it seem more real.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean they're just projections? Are
So
they not real?
We are all just one, playing roles for each other.
Okay.
So we see these things and we identify with it as a negative or bad image, or an image that we don't want to look at. And this makes the physical or third dimensional experience of this planet more real. And we see those kinds of images. But when you do see those kinds of images, try and look at it and visualize it as a light, because that's actually truly what it is.
Okay. And then he'd be helping those people just by imagining that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You can even go as far as imagining that person a completely different experience.
Yes.
Like being in his own house, having his own barbecue, having his own yard and his own cat as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Visualizing a beautiful life for that person, that helps build the grid as well.
Oh, will it change that person's life though?
It will change that the perception from your side to understand that everything we're looking at is just dimmed light. But it's still light. And it's still an experience or a choice that you could have chosen. But it's still just an image, an illusion.
Okay, so, but you're saying his mission is to work on this this earth grid.
Yes.
As a light worker.
Yes.
Is that why he came here?
Yes, and to connect those lights with other lights. This is what all the light workers are doing, to a sense.
And how can he accept his self-worth better?
They're showing the cats again.
Yes. What about them?
And the purring sound as well. Taking care of something brings the self-worth as well. It's kind of like service to others, that kind of thing.
Yes. Is it service to cats, or animals, or people, or what is it?
Yes, both. It's like giving time to yourself will bring the self-worth. Being with the cats is time to himself.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that will bring back worth to himself too, right?
Yes. Doing things for himself.
Yes.
Yes. And accepting it as it is okay to do that.
Yes. Does he feel guilty, or what is the problem?
Well, everyone always feels guilty when they take time for themselves. It's no different for anyone. So that guilt build-up, it just contributes to the worth.
Yes.
Yes.
But how can you not feel guilty if he takes some time for himself?
Just realize it's time to realize for people that this is a very old way of thinking. Start focusing on what makes you happy. and what brings you joy and what gives you some fun. Ask yourself, what can I do to have the most fun? That will bring you to new ways of thinking. That's being in existence is having a great experience. It's having the optimal experience in that experience. So now is the time to do that.
Kind of like in the Pleiades, that seemed to be like the optimum experience, right?
Yes.
Just pleasure and joy and playing and fun.
Yes.
Okay. And if we focus too much on others or doing things for others and not on ourselves, we can't have an optimum experience here, can we? Because we're actually living for externally and for others and not for ourselves.
Exactly.
Okay.
As soon as you give time to yourself, you're actually servicing others.
Can you explain to him what that means?
Yes. Servicing by kind of giving time to yourself, like service to self, is service to others. Think of it in this capacity. You cannot heal others if you're not healed yourself. You need to focus on being happy within yourself before you can give happiness. That's how you manifest happiness.
Okay. I guess we can't really truly help another if we haven't helped ourselves first, right?
Exactly.
And in that sense, service to self is service to others.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's exactly with love that way as well. You need to love yourself first before you can give love to others.
Yes. Okay, and then he's talking about visualizing. How can you visualize better? He says he can't see kind of like a crystal clear image. He seems to just say that he can just think it cognitively. How can he thus visualize better?
By feeling first. Yes.
Can you tell him how that process works?
So let's take an analogy once again.
Yes.
So if the decision was to visualize something that is going to be beneficial for you. So let's visualize a cat.
Yes.
Think first of what would it feel like when that cat is with you. When you have the experience of the cat, what would it feel like? What would it sound like? How would you feel being in that visualization of a cat? Would you want to pet it? Would you want to cuddle with it? And when you do pet it and when you do cuddle with it, how would that feel to you?
Yes. Kind of tactily, like with your physical touch.
Yes.
And but also emotions, right?
That's how the physical experience of having a cat in the first place came into being.
Yes.
So he says it's kind of just like thoughts, but thoughts come from feeling. What was the experience he wanted to have when he thought of it?
Yes.
When he thought of having a cat. So if you wanted to visualize or have spontaneous visualization, imagine how you would want to feel when you experience a visualization. So say you sat down to meditate. The goal is to feel peaceful, relaxed, comfortable, safe, knowing, understanding, joyfulness. Those are the feelings that almost 200% people focus on when they go into a meditation. You're not going to focus on anger when you go into a meditation. The focus is focusing on how you want to feel without even knowing this. So if you go into the feeling of what you would want to experience, that is where the visualizations will come in then. Once you establish the feeling, then the thought would come, and then the visualizations would come. And you will see it clear as daylight.
Are you saying that emotion comes before thought?
Yes.
Does that always work like that in our earthly experience?
Yes, because everything is emotion.
Which is energy in motion, right?
Exactly.
And is that coming from the heart? Where does it come from?
Yes.
And from source then? Or how does that process work?
Yes, from source.
Can you just explain that kind of cycle?
Start focusing on how you want to feel. Start focusing on doing that first, because the understanding then will come in of that source connection through, as you always say, that 0 point energy.
Yes.
Which is the integration of everything.
In
Acceptance, yes, it's acceptance.
What does this vessel see? What does Linelda see when she visualizes this kind of stuff? Is she seeing like a 3D, 5D image on like a TV screen, or like how does it work?
She feels the images.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you tell her how she experiences it?
Yes, I don't force anything. I just let it come effortlessly through kind of the feeling of it. The words are then formed from the feeling through this vessel. Yes.
But that's coming, so the feeling is coming through the heart.
Yes, it comes straight from the heart.
Yes.
It's allowance and the acceptance of effortlessness.
But that sounds quite hard for a normal person to do.
Whenever there's effort involved, is it fun?
No.
So focus on the fun aspect of something, then it will be effortless. And it will be spontaneous as well.
Okay, but about the kind of visualing, what is he supposed to be seeing? Is he supposed to be seeing like crystal clear, or can it be blotchy and fuzzy, or?
It can be whatever he wants it to be. So most people see it as quite fuzzy and blotchy. If they focus on the eyes still being closed, then they focus on the eyes being closed and seeing this kind of darkness. But visualization is not crystal clear images. It is the feeling. The feeling then creates like the reverberation of everything else.
Yes.
Before you see it physically in front of you. This is exactly what happens to you in your dream state as well. If you go to bed at night with lots of different things that happen during your day, or that might have happened in the past or coming in the future, all those feelings or emotions are kind of jumbled up together. And this is why the images are so distorted in the dreams, because it is a kind of collaboration or a coming together of all the mixed emotions from the past, the future, the present, which is actually the now. So this simultaneous thought of everything.
It's like a gobbledygook, or like a soup of everything from past, present, and future.
Yes, yes. And then until you start focusing on something in the dream, then that image becomes clear in the dream. So it's exactly the same experience we are having right now.
Are you saying this is like a dream too?
Exactly.
This real, existence.
Yes.
But does it have something to do with your third eye, the visualizations?
Yes, it does. So you must be willing to feel, or to come back to that, for it to kind of open up to a sense as well. So if you're going to focus on the effort and the focusing on I want to see, that's not going to happen then. You need to focus on the effortlessness of I can see, and that opens it up.
Can you maybe talk about the 0 point energy of the heart? Why is it the 0 point?
It's neutrality, non-duality, integration, acceptance, allowing, effortlessness. It's all of those words you have joined together as one.
Is it the kind of neutrality between the higher self and the ego?
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
Does it have something to do with the inner child?
Yes. Yes, it does. It's all to do with acceptance of the fact that you're just having an experience.
Yes.
It is not who you are.
Okay. Okay,
It's the most powerful force there is.
What is that?
The 0 point energy, the neutrality, the non-duality. It is source. It is what you are, your essence.
Yes. But it does make sense that that's first and then the thought comes after that, because people always think that your thought is first, but it's not, is it?
No. It's feeling.
Okay.
It's the feeling is the knowing as well of what you are.
So are we taught to kind of resist our emotions because we, the powers, I suppose, that be would know how powerful, we would then know how powerful we are if we had to just feel?
Yes.
Okay.
It is all an illusion to take us to the furthest away from what we are.
Okay. Okay, and then he wants to know if any of his chakras are blocked.
Yes.
Which ones are?
The third eye.
Okay.
Yes, but we've already cleared that.
But why is his third eye blocked? Where did it come from? What's the origin?
From the belief that you can't see.
Okay.
Yes.
Where did that come from? Is it from childhood, or is it something recent, or what happened there?
They say it's just the non-acceptance of being here. That's what many starseeds struggle with.
Yes.
That initial experience of that separation. So, not seeing himself.
Okay. Not wanting to see himself for the kind of brilliance that he is, or what?
Yes, because seeing or focusing on this experience makes it real for you. So we forget who we are.
Okay.
So we don't want to see ourselves as what we are in the physical experience, if that makes sense. It's hard for us to look at an image and believe that is what we are.
Okay. It's kind of like 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out of the door.
Yes, yes. It's a very confusing experience almost all the starseeds go through.
Okay, but can we make him see that he needs to be here right now so he can focus on this existence so that he can kind of achieve his mission?
Yes.
How can we do that?
We can clear that chakra completely.
Okay, what does it look like now? What is happening to it?
So think of let's put it into an image. Think of a crystal sphere. And there is a napkin over it.
Yes.
That's it. That's how insignificant the blockage is.
Okay.
Yes.
So just like lifting that napkin.
Yes.
And polishing it a bit.
It doesn't need to be polished. It's already perfectly clear.
Okay. And he can maybe work on this. What is the emotion that he feels there so that he can maybe start emoting that and then visualizing it?
Frustration.
What can you replace
Almost
that?
like a lack of patience.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
But what can you replace that with so that he can use the visualization to clear his third eye even further when he listens to this?
Focusing on the fun and the joy, playing, doing the things that he loves.
Okay, and then he would then be able to visualize his kind of this disc or this sphere just kind of glowing. Something like that, right?
Yes.
Okay, but you say it's clean today.
Imagine shining that torch or that light through that crystal sphere.
Yes.
That is a good visual to imagine how powerful you can be if you choose that.
Okay. Okay, anything else? Any other of his chakras need work?
No.
Okay, and he was talking about his daughter who's 18. What is her mission and how can he help her better?
Starseeds have starseeds.
Okay.
Yes.
Where was her previous existence?
Pleiades.
Okay, were they there together?
Yes.
What was their relationship?
Almost like a companionship, to a sense, yeah.
Yes.
Like a friend.
Yes.
Yes.
What is her mission here?
That new energy. Yes. It's quite difficult for these kinds of starseeds to cope here.
Yes.
Because it's so new, the experience.
Yes, you did say is on the autistic spectrum.
Yes.
Why did this happen? Or why is she like that?
It's kind of to disassociate, to a sense. The reason they have that it's kind of an ability, really, to do to have that disassociation, because it keeps them, like you said earlier, 1 foot in the truth of what they are, and 1 foot in this experience. But sometimes it can be quite confusing when the focus is on the physical experience. It's kind of like there's an overload to the system of everything that comes in. It is just so different to what they are used to. So they can then either act out or shut down, to a sense, in many social aspects.
So they're just overwhelmed, is that what you're saying? It's just too much of a shock to the system, overstimulation.
It's just too different to what they are used to. So it's not really a shock, it's just too different, and the resistance to acceptance of it is present.
And how can she be helped? Is it something that can do?
They say teach her. Teach her the techniques that he knows.
Which are those?
The meditation. And they say music as well.
Yes. Making or listening, or which sense?
Frequency music. Frequency music.
Is it like binaural beats? Or what?
Yes.
Or theta, like kind of resonance, these things?
But they say it needs to be specifically written in 444 hertz.
Okay. Why is
so
that?
General music is written in 440 hertz. It needs to be written in 444 hertz. That extra 4 hertz activates the pineal gland and allows the reality to be more acceptant in the experience. So the 440 hertz keeps them quite in a kind of daze, if you can refer to it like that, in a forgetful state where they can integrate both. And then the music must be written within that hertz. It will be very, very beneficial to then focus on the frequencies within that written hertz.
Why is that specifically beneficial for them? Why do they need to activate the pineal gland?
Once again, they're showing that image of the napkin over the sphere. It's almost like there's this little veil.
Okay.
And they focus on the veil flapping in front of them. And then not being able to see, or sometimes see through it, sometimes see past it, kind of like a distorted experience.
But should they be focusing on their divinity or on the 3D experience?
They should be focusing on integrating both. But they're having like kind of 1 foot in the one and 1 foot in the other. But then just focusing on the one, which is the 3rd dimensional experience, with all that capability of having the foot in the other side. So this is why it's so overwhelming, to a sense.
Okay, and where would he be able to find these 444 hertz? Would it be like online on YouTube or whatever?
Yes, they say it's possible to search or research on this.
So then she should be listening to it when she's meditating, is that correct? Or just any time?
Yes, she can listen to it whenever she wants to, if she meditates, but it will be good to have it in the background.
Okay. And you're saying this will integrate these two aspects of them, which they seem to be on the fence, right? Kind of like a fence sitter. They're not choosing this experience or the other experience.
Exactly. Yes.
And then that will kind of bring them closer to the neutrality or the zero point. Is that right? The kind of integration.
Yes. It will be good to use guided visualizations within those frequencies.
Which kinds of visuals?
Love visuals, like guided meditations.
Okay.
That brings you back to your heart space.
Yes. But what is her mission?
It's all part of the shift So these kinds of children, they literally walk into a room and they fill it with light. And it bounces to people and people absorb it. And all of a sudden, you know, they would switch from an emotion they might have been into a really good emotion or a happy emotion, or they might find themselves smiling for no reason. So these kids are very, very beneficial to the environment. They usually go within those fields as well, within working in the environment. So the type of energy that she holds is that kind of energy of just sending out light without even knowing it, because one of her feet are in the source door, if you can refer to it like that. But if she harnesses and integrates the two together, nothing can stop these kids then. These are the kids that you are seeing who would just start levitating or do telekinesis or change the program on a computer just by thinking of doing it. They are so connected with every energy out there.
Okay, is there anything else that people can do to help them? Saying the 444 hertz.
Nature as well. Focusing on the organic type foods.
Any kind of food.
Especially alkaline foods.
Okay.
Is very, very helpful to these kids.
Why is that?
Because it's natural and its vibrational resonance is 528 hertz.
Like the earth?
Yes.
Why does that specifically resonate with them?
Because they are here to help the earth. So matching their resonance with the earth is just going to be like an integration of one.
Yes.
So organic foods, that it's very important for them to have pets in their lives as well. Anything from animals like cats, dogs, birds, bunnies, ferrets. It's very, very good for them to have pets because the pets will assist them as well with integrating these energies that they find difficult to juggle in this experience.
Kind of to adjust the frequencies.
Yes.
Okay, and is there anything else for autistic children? How people could help them, their parents could help them?
Inspire them through what they enjoy. So when they do enjoy something, allow them to do that more. And then the music is a very, very, very big thing that can help them. And crystals as well.
Yes.
They can connect directly with these crystals.
Why is that?
And also feel the history within the crystal. This is why they find it difficult to kind of have this social aspect to the human experience. Because they can feel even the ground they walk on, or the earth they walk on, they can feel all that history. Yes. So music is a very, very good form of help for these children, specifically written in that hertz frequency that we have referred to.
And which crystals should they be working with, and how should they work with it?
Clear quartz. Yes.
But I know that it needs to be cleared and charged and all kinds of things. Would they be able to do that?
Yes, the parents can help them as well.
Okay.
And also, it will be very, very good to energize their water with the crystals.
Anything specifically?
The clear quartz and also rose quartz would be very helpful.
Why is that? Why rose quartz?
Clear quartz represents that clarity or crystalline consciousness. And the rose quartz represents that 0 point love energy. So using those two to start with would be very good for these children. Putting a stone in their backpack for the day for school, or in their pocket, or even between their food, or within their water. would assist them immensely because they connect with these stones directly.
Okay. Anything else for these children?
No.
And he wants to know if he can activate more of his DNA. He says, like, most people have about 3 to 4% activated. They're not turned on. He needs it to be turned on in order to move to the new Earth. He says the old Earth is too much of a grind. It's too much control. Can you help him with this?
This is incorrect.
Can you clarify, please?
Yes. There's no percentages.
Okay.
So seeing the old Earth that way, or the 3D Earth that way, keeps him there. Because it puts you in a dual visual kind of capacity. Because he finds himself now in a place where it's boring, no fun, control, manipulation. So he automatically creates duality because the opposite must exist too, to that. So it's integration of acceptance of this reality and another reality is simply a non-reality. The non-reality is going to activate your DNA because that's going to bring you back to non-duality, which is neutrality, which is the 0 point energy within the heart once again. So focusing on good, bad, yes, no, up, down is always going to keep you in the dual aspect. The 5th dimensional frequency or reality is non-duality. Because it's in a reality where you instantly manifest exactly what you feel like manifesting. So whether that is flying or doing whatever you want, that is the 5th dimensional frequency. For you to activate your DNA to be in that frequency is to integrate the two opposites together, the yin and the yang, the yes and the no. Bring it back to neutrality, which is acceptance of both. What we mean acceptance of both? When we say that, we mean that imagine you were sitting on your couch and you were playing like a video game on the television. In this video game, there are good characters and there are bad characters, which means there are good stories and there are bad stories. Do you hate that game for having good stories and bad stories?
How you enjoy the experience?
You simply play the game. And sometimes you fall back and it says game over. But then you restart the game. And that refers to choosing again. Choosing to know that you are the game. You're all of it. And you are none of it. When you realize that you are all of it and also none of it, creates the experience of everything. And if you are everything, then how can you hate nothing? Or how can you find yourself in a place where you believe something is happening to you? If you are the creator of this game you are playing. So try and see all these images of control, manipulation, greed, fear. Try and see those images as just that little game someone is playing there on the television set. Create your own reality by accepting what you want to experience. This will create a sub-game within the game, which is kind of a game where you are experiencing your own world within another world.
Okay. But is it possible to activate more of his DNA now in this session?
The DNA is not something that needs to be activated. It is the acceptance of it's already activated.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and you're saying practically he needs to be doing this kind of sub-game within the game.
Yes. You create your own reality with your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings, which is the kind of first step of those thoughts and those beliefs.
So once again, you can go back to your emotions, kind of reprogram, is that correct?
Yes.
Like you said, feel it, then choose again.
Yes.
I accept, I release.
Yes.
Okay, anything else about this DNA activation?
No.
And he wants to know if he has any negative entity attachments.
No.
Yes, because I did explain to her that in QHHT we work with kind of rather releasing blockages in the body, because that would be a vibrational match to something, I suppose, quote unquote, external. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And does he have any blockages in his body that needs to be?
It was just the third eye.
Okay.
Yes.
But does he understand why entity attachments is not something we focus on in QHHT?
Let's explain it in an analogy.
Okay.
So let's go back with the flashlight.
Yes.
If you had a chair in front of you and you shone that flashlight onto the chair, its shadow is going to project towards the other side, which makes it seem that it's an external thing in your perception. This is very similar to the belief of entity attachment.
That's such a good analogy.
So if you have an emotion, say, that you are holding on to, like fear or anger, if you are within this dual experience, absolutely everything that you can imagine must exist within this dual experience. So that shadow of that chair becomes the aspect of what your belief is within your belief in fear. So if it is a wolf, then it will be a wolf. If it is a demon, it will be a demon. But it will all be self-created, because you are shining that flashlight onto that chair, projecting that shadow and showing it to yourself.
Are you the chair in the analogy or what?
You are the light, you are the chair, and you are the shadow.
Okay, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so will people understand this kind of concept now?
Yes.
But why are there certain practitioners doing like entity extractions and...
It is within their belief systems.
Okay, then it will exist, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then what are the signs that the main part of the event is within 6 months? He said he's been listening to other practitioners talk about the control system is still in place, but it's more of a transition now. Are there any signs that we should be looking at that the event will be soon?
Once again, the event is a projection of an internal cause
Yes.
within the collective. So think of many chairs.
Yes.
So this event that everyone is referring to can take many, many different forms to many, many different degrees as well. It all depends on what is necessary. Is they more asleep or is they more awake in the time period that this is building up to? So we would suggest not to focus on a time period, as the timeline shift all the time. Focus on yourself. Focus on letting go of these beliefs, of these internal shadows that appear externally for you. When you do that, you help dissolve that collective shadow, which would then reduce the effect of the event, as they call it. The event can take many different forms and many varying degrees. From what we are currently experiencing, lockdowns, more control, more manipulation, more fear. So the event doesn't have a specific point in time that you can refer to. The event exists within each individual, within their growth aspect. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it's just interesting that the kind of very big push from all of these sessions is to return to the self.
Always.
Is this not a concept that's been taught for many years? Why are we only like kind of becoming aware of it now?
Because this is how you are going to manifest what you want to create. If you come back to yourself, you come back to your source energy. And what is more powerful than that?
Okay.
Do you think a shadow can outshine that?
Probably not. Okay, no, it's interesting that it's just such a big push for that. So I was just thinking.
This is what will create the event.
Yes. Okay.
The event within yourself.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Makes sense. Okay, but how can we unify humanity and move forward? Or by that internal event is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
By focusing on your own growth.
Okay.
Because that's servicing to yourself, self-love, self-worth, that would bring you to giving to others or service to others, which would be giving your light, giving your love.
Yes. And then creating that kind of snowflake of flashlights just kind of across
Yes.
the planet. Okay, do you have any last messages? Any questions I could have asked for today that I didn't ask?
Just trust and focus on that 0 point heart energy within you. This is where everything is.
Yes. Okay, and you said why did you bring him here to us today?
To help him connect with this energy, this non-dual neutrality within him.
Yes.
By activating the pineal.
Okay.
Or that flow within the energy system.
Okay, anything else for him?
No.
Are we complete today?
Yes.
Thank you very much.